Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us today for our third rehearsal hall sessions. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that the Evergreen Cultural Center and the land where we are right now is part of the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coquitlam First Nations, which share territories with the Tsleil-Waututh, Stolo, Squamish, Musqueam, Kikite, and Katsi. My name is Valentina Acevedo Montilla. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the Performing Arts Assistant and Youth Engagement Coordinator here at the Evergreen. I would also like to thank the BC Touring Council for their support of this series, as well as BC Arts Council, the Province of BC, Canadian Heritage, and the City of Coquitlam for supporting live performances and art at the Evergreen. The rehearsal hall sessions are a series of 6 double bill performances that showcase an incredible group of emerging creators that come from diverse visual and performing arts mediums, cultural backgrounds, and forms of expression. For each performance, I had the honor of curating the closing set and inviting each of those artists to curate the opening performance. For this performance, however, I had the honor of curating the 2 curators of the show, which are Selena Bone and Emily Dundas Oak, who curated an amazing lineup of 4 Indigenous poets, readers, who will be sharing their work with us over the next 4 videos, plus 1 little interview that I did with both curators. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Tanse, my name is Emily Dundas Oak. I'm so excited to be a co-curator of this event alongside Selena Bone. We're very pleased to bring together 4 poets whose practices we've admired for quite some time and to bring their stories together in this format. I'd like to thank the Evergreen Center for bringing us together. A little bit about myself. I'm a Cree, Métis, and Scottish person residing currently on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. More precisely, I live not far away from an area known as Sinnock, which was once a sandbar underwater, and on the shores is where much trade and celebration happened between the nations on whose territories I live. And for a long time, it was an important central place for meeting. Due to the change of this landscape through settler colonialism, it's now shifted and it's now underground and now known to many as East Vancouver. I've come to these territories out of an awe of the artistic practices that have grown here, and I've been so grateful to be invited by many organizers to interact with these artistic and literary practices in a number of different ways. And pleased that this journey has brought me here to bring together these four brilliant poets. Very pleased to invite Molly Cross Blanchard, Brandy Bird, and Mackenzie Ground together for an evening / daytime, or whatever you happen to watch this, of storytelling, of humor, and some poetry. So the first poet that I'm very pleased to introduce is Molly Cross Blanchard, who was born on Treaty 3 territory and was raised in Treaty 6. Molly is also based on the unceded ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, where she works as the publisher of Room magazine. The world's a better place since her debut collection, The Exhibitionist, is now released with Coach House Books and available for purchase through independent bookstores across the land. I hope you'll enjoy hearing from Molly as much as I do, and thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone, thank you so much, Emily, for the introduction, and thank you Evergreen for having me. I'm really excited to be reading for you today. I'm going to be reading from my brand new book. It's called Exhibitionist, and it was just published with Coach House Books. The first poem I'm going to read is the first poem in the book, and it is called Exhibitionist. The most orgasms I ever had in one go come over Christmas vacation in my childhood basement bedroom. Door cracked open, sheets peeled back, pussy in plain view of the cat clawing carpet. Is this how flashers feel in their trench coats and chest hair? I'd like to sit in the park with my thumb stuck up my nose and wait for someone to notice. I want to be more like the woman in Burger King who eats fries straight off the floor, the woman who cries in Walmart when her preteen son says, "Fuck you, Mom," for the first time in front of the greeter yanking carts. At the strip club, I eat onion rings, watch the dancer watching me from upside down in her halo of light. When will my roommate notice the way I air dry underwear on the corner of the hallway mirror, symbol of sex in his reflection? I want to feel like a display model lipstick, dug at nub smeared across the mouths of strangers, a much-handled sample of the real thing. The book is split into 4 sections, so I think what I'll do next is read the first poem of each section. And the first one is called Meet Cute. I ooze honey from my tongue into a tiny bowl made of chocolate and set it in the sun to warm, is how a poet might say, I love you. But I just want to say I like the way you waved to that kid at the park and asked permission to hold my hand. A poet might be embarrassed to tell you they drove 6 hours off their route back home for your 3-hour date, or that they sobbed as they drove away, or how when you held them in the community garden with your eyes on their face, time and space became real things you cared to ignore. If I were a poet, I might be embarrassed to tell you I jerked off that night thinking about your hands between my cousin's Paw Patrol sheets, because what kind of freak does that? The next section is called You Think You Know Your Life. You think you know your life after Hera Lindsay Bird and birth control. You think you know your life, and then you're sitting alone in the theater with popcorn grease on your chin watching Melissa McCarthy bumbly stumble from flattering floral blouse into flattering floral blouse 50 times in 90 minutes. Alone is what you want to be but not feel. You think you know your life, and then you're crying because on the way to your car you see the stars for the first time since September and they are nothing like you remember. All your naps begin or end with porn. You could fill a Diva cup with pus from the zits on your cheeks and chest. You want to fill a Diva cup with blood, but your pussy's like, hold up. You think you know your life, and then you piss away 5 hours a day half watching House Hunters reruns on basic cable and chewing polish off your nails so you can paint them again the same shade of crepe paper pink. Your life is wiping the kitchen counter and signing the chore sheet and making toast and wiping the counter and signing the chore sheet and making toast. Your life is Grey's Anatomy when George falls heroically in front of a bus and ends up in the ER with his surgeon friends, but they don't know it's him because his face is so fucked up and swollen that they treat him like anyone else and talk shit about him while he's lying on the table open and hurt with a tube down his throat. You think you know your life, but then you wean yourself off 21-day Marvelon, and it turns out you haven't known your life since your mom found a picture of your labia on your Nokia camera phone and sent you to the clinic for a script. You think you know your life, but it turns out the tiny white pills were tiny white liars pressing buttons, pulling levers, saying, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. And the third section is called When We're Young. When we're young and insecure about our intelligence, after Monica McClure. Serena never talks to her mom on the phone while she's pooping. As soon as she buys toilet paper, Serena takes it out of the plastic and puts it in a drawer. Has she seen me flick a booger at the floor? Serena never sticks loose hair to the wall when she showers, and she knits while she's watching Netflix. I don't do anything while I'm watching Netflix. Serena has the coolest clothes. She wears these shoes you'd only see in a Billie Eilish video. Billie Eilish is 17. When I was 17, I was so worried about the hem of my giant tiger jeans. Now I read my horoscope and itemize each sadness in a notebook. Billie Eilish reads her horoscope and has her people build a theme park. Serena reads her horoscope and just can't be bothered. One time I ran out of toilet paper and used a torn-off piece of tampon box to wipe. When Billie Eilish runs out of toilet paper, her people go to Walgreens and then she makes toilet paper cranes and crushes them with her butt cheeks for a music video, and it is art. Serena never runs out of toilet paper. When Serena leaves a party to poop, and upon her return a friend hands back her vodka soda asking, "How was your poop?" she never replies, disappointing. And the last section is called What Do You Do? What do you do? When you brush your teeth, do you get toothpaste on the mirror, or are you a cyborg? Do you sleep naked, or do you suck? Have you ever talked to the moon as a friend? Where did you grow up? Did it have a water park? Did the fair come through every August, and did you piss yourself a little on the Ring of Fire? Is this haircut negotiable? Do you have roommates? Are they also blonde? Do you and your roommates sit knee to knee on a futon drinking pale ales and watching The Office while someone pours queso over a plate of Tostitos? Sorry, that was pointed. Have you been on the apps long? Have you ever swiped left on every nice-looking person because you felt undeserving of love? What time of day do you masturbate mostly? Do you think about an authority figure or a lesser mortal? Am I the kind of person who could make you hard? Don't answer that. White liquor or brown? Fucking or friendship? Land back or reconciliation? Do I intimidate you? I know you can see my areolas through my t-shirt, and yes, it's a power move, but I really am a sweet girl. Just ask my therapist from when I was 12 and too anxious to have sleepovers. Did you go to therapy when you were 12, or does your spirit stay in your body when you talk to your birth father on the phone? How many pets have died since you were old enough to feel that perverse loss? What were their names? Where on your body are they tattooed? Are you going to let me live my life, or are you going to sit me at a dinner table with your sexist friend Steven? Are you going to be pissy if I write poems about how much sex we are or aren't having? And if I say, okay, then I'll write about my other boyfriends, will you throw a beer glass, not at my head, but not at my head? Will your mother look at me across the yard at the engagement barbecue with pity all over her face because she knows she raised a shitbag and hopes there's something I can do about it? Should we make out? And the last poem I'm going to read is a longer one from near the end of the book. It's called This Is a Poem I Fashioned. This is a poem I fashioned from a journal entry. Sorry. I was hysterical one night. The moon was being weird. I sent you nudes that made my ass look rounder than it is and wrote, I think we should have sex when I'm in town. I put a deposit down on a hand tattoo that Kyle says will make me look like I've been to prison. I ate half a vegan bean wrap and a piece of cheese toast and 2 cups of sweet beige coffee, and that's it. I took a pissing selfie and posted it in the ladies' fitness accountability chat, #multitasking. No one liked it. Is this what feeling my whole life is like? Is what I wrote in the journal. I'd been watching Fleabag, that was the problem. Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the moon. I reminded myself that my mother and my best friend are alive. I reminded myself I have a dog, not a guinea pig. She licked my hand over and over, and I had to lie still for a while. I read some Sally Rooney, and just like that, the banana peel drying on the desk became endearing. I was endeared to myself, but now I can't remember how. Recalling drunkenness, sober. I need you to love me more than I need to remember liking myself, and I'm only a little embarrassed to admit it. I hope you like my body when we fuck. I hope you say my asshole tastes like caramel again. Never forgot that. And I hope my asshole actually tastes like caramel and you weren't just saying it to make me feel better about having a regular tasting asshole. If you haven't missed my breasts, you will after you see them in these new sheer cups. You'll miss them while they're still in your hands. All of it happened so fast. I just wanted to feel loved again by a man who loves me, to be held so normal while it's dark outside. And I wanted to smell you. This is the present tense. I want to lick your warm neck and smell that thing my spit does on your skin. Love really looks like this, huh? This is the transition. I'm climbing a hill or else descending quickly into a tumble. If I'm a baby's light-up toy, you're the blinking default setting. I have to be loving someone else to not be loving you. What we thought was a pressed red self-destruct button is actually hundreds of windows to be nailed shut by hand. Do you understand? This coming together is part of the leaving. Sorry. Just fuck me like you did at Disney World. I swear I'll be right there with you. Thank you.